So this is the latest addition to the compound, whatever you want to call it. It is a 60 kW 3-phase generator. Built December 69, well, shipped anyway. It has a 471 Detroit diesel, 2-stroke. They're loud, but they run forever. Well, you know how you can tell when a Detroit's out of oil? It quits leaking. So anyway, yeah, they put this panel in the thing here, but they welded this fuel tank on the side of this trailer. Now, I originally just wanted the trailer. You take this pin out right here. The trailer was built in '65. You take that pin out, and the frame extends the whole length of that out. Now, what for, you say? It's actually for putting poles on, moving telephone poles and stuff. This particular trailer is an M11 trailer, and it was used with the telephone deuce and a half. That's right, they actually had a deuce and a half with a telephone maintenance box on it. So they just tack welded this baby down to this trailer. They had 3 or 4 of them, but they were still using the other ones, the town that I bought this from. And it still has the uprights. Those are the uprights here on these holders. They go on the sides here, so you can stack a lot of poles in here. And you throw a chain across. See that? You throw a chain across, and then you could tighten it down on both sides and hold the whole mess down. It actually had what's called M34 wheels. So they weren't set up to be duals. This offset here, see how it's offset, so you can bolt 2 of them together and have duals. This offset's actually farther in, and they were 11 by 20s, which means they were 11 inches tall, 20-inch rim. So these are 9 by 20s. The 2 spares I took with me, I didn't realize it had 11 by 20s on it. Those tires disintegrated pretty quick. They were kind of old. I think one was dated '64. So there's data plate, and it'll carry 5,000 pounds on the highway. Well, it says 5,000 off-road and 5,000 highway, but that's probably correct for both, just because it is barely sitting on the helper springs. Close. And this generator supposedly weighs 4,600 pounds. So, like I said, I just wanted the trailer, because I got telephone poles to move and stuff like that. So, yeah, you could unreel your extra brake line so you could still reach the truck after it was extended. But I've already checked the oil. I've barred the engine over, and I've checked the stop. It has coolant. Got 2 good batteries. So this is your solenoid. Would pull that up, and it would actually close an air dampener, close off the air to the engine, because these things can run away if they have a leak. Now, another problem with these style Detroits, the 471s and the 53 series, is the fuel rack's right here. That goes inside, and that this rocks back and forth. It uses oil pressure and electro-pneumatic or electro-hydraulic, I guess. And it's stuck. So normally when these things shut off, they shut off in the full throttle position. It's silly, but that way, after it's shut down, it goes to full throttle, I guess would be better. And that way when you restart it, it's already in the full throttle to get it going, and then the governor's supposed to start bringing it back. And obviously, since this is a generator, this is what the speed of the engine changes, how many hertz the frequency that the generator's putting out. You want 60 hertz. That's normal US Kurtz. It's got a convenience outlet here, and it's got these receptacles when you want to parallel it. I've checked the wiring, and it's old, but it's serviceable. I hadn't seen any bare spots. I didn't see any things where the mice were in here. It has an auxiliary fuel pump here that runs on 24 volts, and what that does is your main tank's down here, right here, and what happens is you put it in an auxiliary, your control panel. It's only got 507 hours. So the engine alone, the trailer alone, the engine alone, the generator and scrap value is worth what I paid for this thing. I mean, I got it for a song. I didn't have to dance even. So what you do is you turn the aux fuel on, and that pump, the engine will run off the tank under the generator, but then they have this auxiliary tank welded to the side, and I plan to take that off, but that may be handy for something. You never know. Never know what you need a tank for. It's pretty full of fuel, and I checked it. It's pretty clear. This is the original battery box right here. It would have two of the military batteries. The one I'm familiar with is called 6TL, and that's just the battery designation. So they've moved all that to the other side, obviously, but they ran all these hoses to run it off this tank using the aux pump. And I mean, the nice thing about military generators is there's the control cubicle connections. I mean, they put the data plates on everything. You know, there's your remote monitor connection. That's going to be your generator wiring, all your high voltage wiring. So the town even had 24 volt flow charger, so they could just run an extension cord out, plug it in, and it was ready to rock whenever they needed it. So we got maybe some storms rolling in, so I'm gonna finish checking the throttle linkages, and then I'm gonna energize it with the batteries. I've already tested them, cleaned the terminals, check the control circuits. If everything seems good, I'll see if she'll light off. So check back in a minute. Okay, so I've checked all the 24 volt circuits. I'm not sure if it has any fuel getting to the injection pump yet. I'm gonna just see if it'll roll over and make sure that everything's good to go with the starting circuit. So here we go. That's a good test of the rollover. So now let me check the fuel. I'll probably crack a line on the injection pump on the other side. Turn on the aux fuel pump. I did try that. It is, the aux fuel pump is putting out fuel, or it's running anyway. I'm not sure if it's actually pumping fuel. So we'll see what we can see. Let me crack that fuel line and run the pump, and we'll go from there. So it's very loud with my homemade air compressor out of stuff I had laying around, and the tank I got from my father-in-law. There's my adjustment for the belt tension. I bought the gas-powered valve. It slows the engine down when it gets to pressure. What I'm going to do is I'm building up pressure now. That's probably good enough. There's a vent hole right here. Let me go ahead and shut this off since we're up to pressure. Oh, silence is golden. Yeah, I don't sing. That's why I fix stuff. Anyway, I'm gonna take my blow gun, and pressurize the tank and push fuel, because there's no fuel getting to the pump. So I've loosened this line here. That fuel line's loose. So what should happen is I start pressurizing the tank, push the fuel up that line into this first filter, and then up to that line. Once I start hearing fuel flow, I can shut the line, or shut the air off, and then come over there and tighten that line up. Nothing! So, does that mean we have a blockage? I'm not using enough pressure. I took that filter housing off and it seemed fine. So, might just not have enough pressure. So let me keep fooling with it. The engine will run if you pour a little diesel in the intake, but that's not a long-term solution. So let me keep messing with it. I'll get back to you. So I got thwarted the line that runs between that fitting and over where that wrench is, which goes to the injectors, was leaking. I was dripping fuel all down here. So I got fuel to the pump now, and so it'll pump it up to that filter, but that hose was leaking, so it wouldn't build up pressure to fire it. So I don't think I have any of those fittings as press-on fittings, which is a shame, because if I had them as press-on fittings, then I could just get a new piece of hose. I probably have a piece of hose around here. But since if I don't have press-on fittings, or if those are not exchangeable fittings, some fittings or some hoses you can take the ends off of. I think I can. You can actually take the ends off of this, put a new piece of hose in there, and then clamp it back down. They're reusable fittings, if I can get them apart. Sometimes you can't. So I will attempt to do that tomorrow, because obviously it's dark out here. So we'll see how it goes. Okay, so here it is the next day, and luckily the military, during the time period that engine was made, loved using reusable hose fittings. So the hose went down into there, and then you'd screw this part in the center, the wedge, and it would wedge go in the OD or the ID, and spread the OD out and grab those little tabs in there. So I'm going to see if I have any hose this size. If I do, then I'm good to go. If not, it'll be a run to the parts store. What do you goats want? Oh, I'm surrounded. That's what happens first thing in the morning. I've already fed y'all too. Get out of here. So we'll go into my, I call it the warehouse, where I keep all my supplies, goodies and stuff. Let's see, I think I have some hoses in here. My plumbing drawer. Hard pipe. Funnel, too big. Alright, go in my automotive fuel drawer. I know that's not long enough. Maybe that's the right ID. OD. Let's see. Yeah, if I can if I can get that to work. What size is this? No size! Let me see. I dropped the fitting. There we go. Alright, so I got these two pieces of hose. That one's got a bigger, bottom one's got a bigger ID, top one's got a smaller ID. However, that would fit in there. This is the nut. That really doesn't, oh, maybe. It really doesn't want to go in there. How about this? Alright, I can get this size to fit in there pretty good. So, if I can find some of this hose, then I'll have it made. I need about 6 inches of it. 6 to 7 inches. So let me search through my goodies and see what I got. And of course that doesn't say, this is what usually when you buy these filters in a box from the auto parts store, it comes with a couple of pieces of hose and your little quick clamps. That's all this is a piece of hose out of one of those kits. But I could always take this to the auto parts store and get what I need. So let me look around and see if I have it, because I probably do. I just got to find it. Alright, so I found some hose. A little Scanadin hose. I think I got it started on this end. I'm going to test it out. And if it doesn't work, I'll head out to the auto parts store. But I did get this end started in there. So I'll put it together and give it a good yank. And if it comes apart, then I need bigger hose, bigger OD hose. If it just pushes it out, I need a bigger ID hose. So anyway, we'll see what we see. Wow, that appears to have worked great. I can't pull the hose out. It's stuck in there good. It did spread it apart, I guess. And then looking at the ID of this hose, I don't think you can see down in there. Anyway, it's the same ID as that hose, basically. So I think we're going to be right on the money here. I did make it a little longer. You know, I mean, it's pretty flexible, so that's not a big thing. You don't want like 12 feet extra hose wrapped around, but that should be enough. So go back there and put it on the generator and see what we see. Alright, day 2. Got the fuel line replaced. Been trying it, no go. I think the injector rack was stuck, so I messed with that. So we'll see how it's going now. Still nothing, so we'll try the rack again. Alright, let's see if that works. I'm going to cheat a little. until it was able to pick up the fuel in the injectors. It is running. And I'm putting out 60 hertz. 60 hertz at 220 volts. I got no load. Showing 45 psi of oil pressure. I don't know about the temp, but she runs. Smokes quite a bit, but it ain't been running in I don't know how long. And it's loud, but it's a Detroit, so. But I'm stoked. Everything seems fine. Let's see if she'll shut off. Oh, baby. I love it. That's awesome. Now let's see if she'll restart. Hell yeah! Up. Got a little fuel leak. Got another fuel leak, so I'll have to get some more of that line and fix it, but yeah, see it? Hell yeah, though. Nice, I love it. Well, thanks for watching, and I'll get that fuel leak fixed. Maybe hook something up to it and see if it works. But according to the gauges, it's putting out power, and that's what matters. All right, talk to you later. Alright, even with the doors closed, it's loud. The float charger's bad. And apparently the internal, either the generator has a, usually the generator will have a coil for charging the batteries at 24 volts. Well, they're 24 volt batteries, but you want about 28 volts. So, that's not working. Usually there's a voltage regulator in there, you know, under the control panel. I haven't opened it, and that'll charge the batteries and provide the circuit power for like the contactor relay. The contactor relay right now will not pull in. I'll have to check and see what voltage that's at. Sometimes they run on 110 AC and sometimes they're the 28 volts, 24 volts DC. It smokes a lot, but I mean, it's been sitting. And it's a Detroit. Almost all Detroit smoke. And this thing was built 1969, so it could smoke a little. But it's come up to temp. I still got a solid 40 psi oil pressure. It does drop frequency some, see? And then it'll pop back up. The float charger that's on here is reading bad. I plugged it in. I'm getting 110 here. 115 volts. I'm getting 115, 117 volts there. So, silence is golden. Maybe, let's see if it'll restart. Blah. So anyway, I'll disconnect the batteries in case it's got anything running off of it, but comes up to temp. It's got really nice high dollar coolant in it, so it's pretty nice. Needs new filters, probably needs an oil change, I'm sure. But I got it to start and it's generating power, so just got to figure out why the load contactor is not pulling in. But I mean, if I wanted to burn 2 gallons an hour, I could run 115 all day. 15 amps off the convenience outlet. But anyway, so it'll make a pretty good generator. A little big for what I need, so one of two things: either I'm gonna sell it whole, or I'm gonna take the engine out, because I have a project that I could use the Detroit for. And then I guess part out the generator and the controller since it works. I hate doing that. This is a whole machine. You know, I could probably find, if I sold this, I'd make enough money to find an engine and another generator where maybe the generator is busted, and then I could just take the generator out of that and use it in my project instead of taking a full machine apart. I hate doing that. I really do. I try to save things when I can whole. So, but sometimes things are worth a lot more in their component pieces than together in one piece. So, anywho, that's all for now. That's a 1969 60 kW Kurtz and Root Company 471 Detroit powered military 3-phase generator. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.